Welcome back. The US President Donald Trump is self-isolating as he battles Covid-19. It's raised major questions about the election campaign going forwards. If his condition worsens, there's the possibility that powers would have to be transferred to Vice President Mike Pence. Well, let's assess the situation some more with the former US Senator and friend of Joe Biden, Byron Dorgan, and the Republican strategist, Bobby Eberle. Very good afternoon to you both. Bobby Eberle, if I may start with you, this couldn't possibly be worse news for Republicans to wake up to, could it?
Well, it's like we have our own GOP October surprises. They keep popping up on our end. But you know what? We just had a jobs report come out, another close to 700,000 jobs added back to the economy. The unemployment rate dropped below 8% to 7.9%. So yes, the president is going to have to deal with this through quarantine. But the country keeps going on and doing what it needs to do. The campaign obviously is going to be affected because he likes getting out there. He likes traveling. So that will have to be restructured over the next week or so. But as far as the message getting out, the message he's been getting out in the country that he built prior to all these lockdowns, that message remains. And that's the one that he's going to keep promoting even as he quarantines and recovers from coronavirus.
Byron Dorgan, what do you make of the president's messages remaining, given that this is a president who was laughing at your presidential candidate, Joe Biden, for wearing a mask just a couple of days ago?
Well, first of all, our thoughts are with the president and the first lady. I mean, you know, we pray for their recovery. Yeah, I mean, the president has not been very attentive with respect to mask wearing, and that's troublesome. But at this point, we want him to recover. You know, we understood what you went through with Boris Johnson in England. And, you know, he was, I know, in intensive care. We hope that the president has mild symptoms and is back on the campaign trail. This is not a good time for any of this to happen. There are national security issues and other things that exist. And so, you know, I guess at this point, we know what we know this morning because we just learned, I think, at midnight or just after midnight that the president and the first lady have this virus. Now we wait and see, and November 3rd is an election, so the American people on November 3rd will be choosing what kind of government they want in the future. Of course, I support Joe Biden and hope very much that Joe Biden will prevail.
Bobby Eberle, the situation that we experience here in the UK with Boris Johnson must be in the back of Republican strategists' minds. Of course, it goes to show that somebody with previously robust health and a sort of bullish demeanour doesn't necessarily have a free pass to a swift recovery. You know, if the worst was to happen, if we were to see President Trump's condition deteriorate, would you want to see Vice President Mike Pence step in and have the president's name removed from the ballot in order for the election to go ahead on the 3rd of November?
Oh, well, not at all. And the one thing we need to keep in mind is that regardless if it's the president or if it's someone down the street who has got it, the stats and the information have not changed. The overwhelming majority of people, even at the president's age, recover fine. The vast majority, 80 to 85%, have little to no symptoms. The latest report said President Trump was experiencing mild symptoms. So,
well, as was Boris Johnson at the beginning of his illness, just to point that out to you.
Right. But yeah, the president's coronavirus advisor has come out, and obviously we're going to track this. But the idea that was mentioned earlier about the White House not taking precautions or the President Trump talking about masks, if there's any more secure location, people being tested all the time, it's the White House. And it just shows you that this virus spreads. Some states in the United States had lockdowns, some didn't. It spreads. But you have to keep in mind that the vast majority of people will have little to no symptoms, and the vast majority, even at this age of the 70s, like Biden and like Trump, recover fine from this. That information, those numbers have not changed. And I anticipate that the president, after this quarantine, will be right back out on the campaign trail, showing that he has built the economy, record low unemployment, jobs for minorities, Blacks, Hispanic community, and push that message that I'm sure he does not want to stay at home right now. He wants to get that message out, and I'm sure he'll be back out on the campaign trail.
Byron Dorgan, what do you make of that? Do you think the president could have done things no better, as has been claimed there, that he's been watertight with his COVID security?
Yeah, well, even as I say, we very much hope he recovers. We wish the best for the president. The fact is, he has made fun of Joe Biden for wearing masks. He has not been attentive to wearing masks himself. It's also the case that he's gone out and held rallies without social distancing, without masks. A lot of people at these rallies say it's just been sort of the wrong message to send that, well, this is not a big deal. It is a big deal. It's a big deal when he is affected with the virus. It's a big deal for anybody that has this virus. So with respect to the campaign and moving forward, we want him to recover. We want him to be back out on the campaign trail. But the fact is, this country is in very deep trouble in lots of ways. We've had a very substantial collapse as a result of this virus. There's been some recovery. That's good. But I just think when people go to the polls on November 3rd, the question is going to be, do I want 4 more years of this, really? Do I really want 4 more years of this president? And I think the answer is going to be a resounding no.
And I wonder, Bobby Eberle, whether or not you think that people will just not bother to turn up on November the 3rd, given that their hero has fallen to this virus that he's made fun of over the most of 2020. They might think, you know what, he didn't take it seriously, none of us took it seriously, and he might not be the hero they thought he was once.
No, I would totally disagree with that. In fact, I think this is a motivating factor. Not that you need any more motivation than to go out and try and push down the left, which is what has taken control of the Joe Biden campaign and the Democrat Party in general. The far left is responsible for all this mass riots and looting and destruction that we've seen this summer. President Trump represents the counter to that, and people are excited. I mean, I was so excited.
Although he refused, didn't he, to condemn white supremacists at the presidential debates on Tuesday night, which his advisors have had to row back from.
No, actually he didn't. And he
said
has
stand
condemned
by
white
rather than
supremacy
stand down.
over and over again. Now, he has addressed that over and over again, and it's only the media that seems to say, well, let's address it one more time. When we look at the violence that was going on in the summer, buildings were getting destroyed, businesses burned down from left-wing violence. Black
Mr.
Lives
Dorgan,
Matter
what do you make of that? Did the president condemn them on Tuesday night?
That's just not true at all. I mean, look, this is the president. It's his economy. It's his country. He's the president at this point. He can blame a lot of others, but you know, frankly, I've watched this for 4 years now, 3.5 years. I think it's an embarrassment. I think there's a lack of decency. I think there's a lack of character, and I think the American people are going to look at this and say, you know, we want something very different than this. And it's true, you know, in terms of how he's treated our allies. It's, you know, look, I understand he was elected president. He didn't win the vote, but he won the Electoral College vote. But, you know, I think this is going to be a different circumstance. Joe Biden is not a captive of the left at all. I've been around Biden. Look, I served for a lot of years in the United States Senate with Joe Biden. I like him a lot. He is not a leftist at all. That's just a charge that's just not accurate.
And just finally, Mr. Dorgan, how worried are you about Joe Biden's close proximity to the president on Tuesday night and his own health?
Ask that question again.
I'm just wondering how worried Democrats are that Joe Biden might himself have picked up COVID-19, perhaps at the presidential debate on Tuesday.
Well, no one knows. I mean, there was discussion about that today, but you know, look, I hope that he has not been impacted by that. Joe Biden has been very careful. He's worn masks a lot. And as I said, the president's made fun of that. But look, we want Joe Biden to be healthy. I want Donald Trump to be healthy. I want them to go out and make their case to the American people and let the American people make a choice about the next 4 years. Let them make a choice about their future. I think that. And my own view is I think they will overwhelmingly choose Joe Biden.
OK, Byron Dorgan, Bobby Eberle, worrying time for both camps, I'm sure. Really good to talk to you both this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.